Celebrates for the FA Cup winners as it finishes Palace 2, Liverpool 1. Let's take a look at what that means then at the top of the table. That victory for Crystal Palace moves them up to second now, quite incredibly. 3 points adrift of Liverpool. Arsenal, of course, still to play tomorrow when they take on Newcastle. Don Hutchison joins us. Don, even the staunch, even the Steve Nichols of this world couldn't argue Liverpool got what they deserved today.
Well, and some, because it should have been 5-0 down at half-time. They got absolutely mullered, Dan. I was on comms for the game today, and Palace were unlucky. I mean, the scoreline flattered Liverpool big time. Liverpool were a mess today, and I've seen it by Arne Slot's team selection when he tried to shoehorn Florian Wirtz onto the left-hand side. Szoboszlai's in better form, so he shifted him out to the left-hand side and played Szoboszlai's in number 10. Gakpo was on the bench, Chiesa was on the bench, who came on late, and somehow when the game got back to 1-1, I thought that is the biggest robbery of the century. And then Craig talked about Kirkes. Honestly, when you see the goal back again in its truest form, the ball gets laid back or gets pinged back to Kirkes, and it's on his right foot on the edge of the box, and he didn't back himself to use his right foot, his swinger, to try and clear the ball as far and get distance on his clearance as possible. And he allowed the ball in a strange sort of pattern of play to come all the way down on his left-hand side. And what did he do? Kick the ball out for a throw-in, which is a far bigger threat for Crystal Palace. They launched the ball in the box. They scored the late winner. Massively deserved. A 2-1 flat as Liverpool. But honestly, Konate was a mess today. Alisson was the standout player for Liverpool. He made 3 brilliant saves in the first half. And it should have been, honestly, no exaggeration, 5-0 to Palace at half-time. So a 2-1, my days. At 1-1, I think, robbery and how Liverpool have got out of this, they'll take a point all day long. 2-1, yeah, it massively Palace deserved the win. And they're now unbeaten in 18, by the way, in great form.
Yeah, I actually think I'm the chairman of the Oliver Glasner American fan club. Last year it was Elise. They sold Anderson to Fulham. Eze has gone. There have been others who have left. Mark Gahey his head was turned by Liverpool, of all teams, at the end. And it's been an FA Cup final, a Community Shield, and an amazing start to the season. And let's not forget, this time last year, the discussion was, is Oliver Glasner going to get the sack?
After a horrible start.
Because they had a horrible start, but yet Crystal Palace just said, no, we have faith in this guy because what he's doing on the training ground, what he's doing with the team, how he's coached them, how they play. And we've talked about this. Everybody loves this modern game. We pass it out from the back. Crystal Palace will do it a little bit, but won't do it a lot because they know they're not the best at that. This is a classic case of, and I know we're going to get to Man United, but this is a classic case of working with what you've got and making the best out of what you've got. Is it a back 4 or a back 3? What's better for the players that I've got? It's a back 3. It's Richards, Lacroix and Gahey. That's what's best for them. And he's figured that out very quickly. So they've been magnificent, absolutely magnificent. From Liverpool's perspective, they've had these games before this season. It's been coming. It has been coming like a freight train. And it's finally arrived. But you know what? They've had these games where they could easily have lost them, but they didn't because they've outscored teams. And guess what? And this goes back to midweek and that balloon, Ekitike, and everybody laughing it off at the time. He's the most informed player. They're not defending very well. They're giving team lots of chances. So he was needed today. And spare me the Alexander Isak. He's not match fit. Ekitike has been their biggest threat from the Community Shield when he signed to this point in the season. And he sat at home because he couldn't engage his brain. And that's a big deal. People may say, that's a big deal. When you're not playing well, guess what? If you've got somebody that can pop a couple in and you nick another 3 points, that's all right till you figure it out. But he wasn't available and Liverpool got their just desserts. And, we were talking at the start of the season, Dan. We thought, and I was wrong. I thought it was just going to be seamless for them.
Yeah.
And I know they've had a good start.
Yeah.
They're top of the league. But tell me a game where they've played really well.
Yeah.
I can't.
And that's the thing. The narrative has been, you wait till Liverpool click.
Yeah.
They are 100% at the moment. You wait till this all comes together. It seems to be trending in the wrong direction. That first half today was some of the worst we've seen from Liverpool under Arne Slot.
Without question. And maybe that's not giving Crystal Palace their due deserves here. Because I thought Palace were outstanding from beginning to end. And I'm sure I'm not the only one.
The space available at the Glasner fan club.
I'm joining. I'm sure I'm not the only one that with each Alisson save, you just think, you know what's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when Chiesa scores.
Yeah, you know
like,
what's coming here. Liverpool are somehow going to snatch this and we're going to have the same conversation yet again. On paper, there's no question that this Liverpool side is an outstanding team and arguably better than the one we saw last year. But for again...
Well, they're an outstanding squad at the moment. They're not an outstanding
squad,
team.
But again, apart from the one chance that, let's be honest, Florian Wirtz really should have done better with.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything that he did that stood out. Isak had a chance where I thought he could have gone down in the box, but because he's not been playing, he's not been getting goals, I think he tries to stay on his feet to score himself. As a result, the chance just goes a begging. Outside of that, I can't think of anything he does. Mo Salah, and we've had this conversation for many a year about Mo Salah. I'm not sure what he did for 90 minutes, but again, as we've done for the last 4 or 5 years, even when he does that, he pops up with a goal or two. And all of a sudden, this is a Liverpool team that looked decidedly average against Crystal Palace, who I thought was simply outstanding again on the day. Maybe this team clicks, to your point, and all of a sudden, everything just comes right. But right now, something just isn't. The pieces of the puzzle just aren't fitting as they should.
Where do we stand on this, Don? Obviously, you took a look at that front four. You've got 2 members of the squad that have just joined Liverpool. Everyone is trying to learn each other's ways. Is it just a case of give them time and this will click? Or are these pieces of the puzzle that are never going to fit together?
Oh, they'll fit together. They're just got to find the best system and maybe just a tweaking system. I mean, they missed Ekitike today for a ridiculous suspension that he got against Southampton, but you can't put that on individual errors. Gravenberch was weak with the first header. As I said, Kirkes was really poor for his clearance, but I think Liverpool will click. I think what Florian Wirtz needs, he needs a high-profile game that he's going to stand out and be the best player in. He got dropped for the Merseyside derby about 10 days ago, and it was the right thing to do because it's a high-intensity game. The strange thing for me was, why would you then play him? And maybe Arne Slot's thinking, well, I can't drop him twice on the spin, but surely when you go away to Crystal Palace, who are unbeaten in 17, who bring a high-intensity game, who run as hard as anyone in the Premier League, who fight and scrap and win second balls more than anyone else in the Premier League, that's not the game for Florian Wirtz. Now, the big dilemma now, I think, for Arne Slot is their next Premier League game is Chelsea away. So you might start him against Galatasaray, and that might be his game where he can shine and get some confidence. But are you really going to start Florian Wirtz on the left-hand side against Chelsea at the Bridge? No, it's going to be Gakpo. So he's going to need to find some form. He's going to need to show, because I'm not seeing anything yet. We know he's a player, and we know how great he is and how talented he is. But today he was like 4-yard, fiddly little passes around the corner. The chance that Shaka mentioned, he should have been more ruthless in front of goal when he was quiet. That would have got Liverpool back in the game very early on. It would have given him a shot of confidence. Slot's got to find a system for him.
Yeah, well, if you're going to play him on the left, then you might as well not play him. If that's your mindset, how can I squeeze him in? Then you're weakening the team, because he's better in the number 10 role. Although he's not been great, that is his position. You put him out in the wider area, and all of a sudden, you've got a player who's not great defensively on the left-hand side, and a left-back who's just signed, who's struggling. That doesn't make any sense. You know, you have to give Florian Wirtz the best chance to succeed, and that's in the best position. His best position is a number 10, and you got to give some protection to a young left back who is at the moment finding it difficult to keep his head above water, and playing a playmaker on the left hand side on that side against better teams is not the answer.
Yeah, Arsenal, Newcastle. Well, you want to see Arsenal going for it now, most definitely.
Five midfielders.
5 midfield, 2 goalkeepers.